Hey, welcome in this video where I will be talking about my skirmish run. I did a skirmish last week, last Saturday, and it was my first skirmish ever, so I chose Viktor, my beloved, and I ended up going pretty far. Actually, I did go to the final, but we couldn't play it. But regardless, I'll present the run because I think it was interesting, especially for some of the matchups, and also my feedbacks on the list that I just presented on the last video. So let's get right into it. So why would you want to play Viktor? So first of all, pretty strong argument, especially at the moment in Riftbound. The deck is pretty cheap. The only expensive card is Watcher, and right now in EU it's 10 euros. And I don't believe you need 3 of them. You could probably run the deck with only 2, and just add another Rex. The rest of the deck is probably just bulk or 1 or 2 euros card. On top of that, the deck got support from the Sett 2. I'll show you the cards from Sett 2 on the next slide. So, like pretty good tools. I just mentioned a couple, like Bellows Breath is an amazing card to go with Imperial Decree. Pickpocket is also a great card to create economy, and a bunch of 2-drops. Also, Viktor is not a deck that really bricks. I mean, obviously it can, but you never really miss your turn 1, and that feels really good. The matchup spread is pretty decent with Viktor. I don't think there is many decks where it's auto loss, and I really like that. That you don't go into a game and basically know that it's basically over. That feels really bad. So I like Viktor for that matter. Everything feels winnable. So that's the decklist I ran for the skirmish. It's, I think, a mix from Bologna and some of the Vegas list. There's no time warp, and I just did the number of decree, for example. I have a full in-depth video, which was my first one, about the deck, if you want to know about the numbers and why I did this. But just to look at a couple of the Spiritforged cards that Viktor got. Bellows Breath is amazing. The 2-drops, so Honest Broker, Plundering Poro, even Pickpockets are really good to create golds, because this is one of the big weaknesses that Viktor had on set 1 is the power. The fact that you were recycling so much, and now thanks to the gold we can actually ramp up. Wages of Pain is an incredible card as an early game removal. Really, really good. Even if it doesn't kill the target, you still get a gold. So amazing. Xin Zhao is also really good, especially in the Viktor mirror. It's amazing to be able to go over your opponent's unit for cheap. And even in general, like you can see, Irelia as well is an MVP. So a bunch of really good cards from Set 2. So round 1, I face a Teemo. If you didn't know, in Set 1, Teemo was a really good matchup for Viktor, because with all the spells and the removal, you prevent Teemo from holding and also hiding his cards. So it's very difficult for him to play around all the spells and all of that. Another thing is that Teemo is a purple color, so I got a couple cards from Spiritforged, and mainly Hard Bargain. I mean, I'll probably just put the card on display so you can read it if you don't know. But yeah, you need to play around Hard Bargain, and a couple other cards like Bellows Breath, because he can remove your base, or even Switcheroo if you want to push in with Watcher. So to get into the game, I win the dice roll, which feels pretty good. This means I can just play a 2-drop or just a token, and start applying pressure with the points. I think he has a pretty slow start, so I can get a point, hold, and I kind of snowball from there. I remove him, I play Singularities, I play like Wages of Pain, and I get to 8 really quickly. Game 2 was actually a bit of a different story, because I had a really bad hand. What I mean by that is that I think I had just a lot of heavy costed spell and not many units, so I couldn't redevelop my board, so I just ended up doing a token for a turn for a couple turns actually. And I got into an interesting spot where I had 2 Singularities in hand and I was on 5 runes. I could either play a token and my Viktor leader, but that means that I will deramp 1 and get to 6 next turn, or I could just make a token and pass. And I just decided to pass because getting a 6 runes feels really bad, because I just play Singularity and don't develop board, so I just remove his stuff. And wait, that's the thing, right? You don't develop board, and that's a big bummer. So I end up just passing, and the next turn I can chain Singularities and just spawn a token every turn. So I end up winning that game by just playing Watcher and try to go over his board. Actually, I misplayed there because I played my Watcher forgetting Switcher was a card. So I get my Watcher Switcheroo, but it's no big deal because I have second one in hand, so the turn after that, he stacks the battlefield, and I just play Watcher to clean everything. So I end up winning 2-0 there. Next round is Master Yi. Master Yi, in my opinion, is a pretty difficult matchup, especially after sideboard, because there's a lot of things to play around. And on top of that, I lose the dice roll, which could be fine, But game 1, he has his turn 2, he has a Poro, and he just gets ahead like so far with points. Because I can't really do double conquest on my turn, since there's a 4 might Poro, which feels like a mountain to climb, especially when he has some runes open, because I can't just stupefy and then Zin or something like that. Because it just has On Guard, Discipline, and yeah, it becomes really difficult. I do think like game 1 is the game that you can try to cheat because they don't really have an answer for Imperial Decree, since the wind walls are usually all in the side. But I think I could have definitely played that game better with my Imperial Decree. I also had the camel, which was really annoying, because the only way you can really clear the camel is either he sits on a battlefield, you Imperial Decree, and you send a token to kill him, or you can also try to watch her, but it's a bit risky because of punch first and all of those cards. So yeah, he gets game 1. We go on to game 2. The game is pretty different. I just get to 6 pretty quickly, and I think he runs out of unit. I must have played some curls in the early game. End up winning this game. And game 3 is basically game 1 all over again. He drops a Poro, but this time he has the wind walls. Yeah, because he has multiple copies of wind walls in his side, which is crazy, but it is what it is. And I get into a spot where if I want a shot to win, I kind of have to play the decree, and I just drop him. I just drop it, and I mean, I know he has a wind wall in hand no matter what, so I just place the wind wall and I lose. So I end up losing the second round 1-2. Round 3, we are against Irelia. And Irelia is an interesting matchup. They can't really do anything against Imperial Decree besides hard bargain, which is truly their only answer. So it's much easier to play around. So I'd say the matchup's 50-50 depending on what's going on in your games. So luckily I win the dice roll, which is always feels nice. So I can just drop a token and I get Sneaky Deckhand game 1. I have the right answer for Sneaky Deckhand. Just pop a token, plays in, go over the Sneaky Deckhand, and double conquest. This is kind of like against Rek'Sai, where Irelia can't really play Sneaky Deckhand on a battlefield, because Rek'Sai actually would just come and go over and get a point. I kind of did that, and I did get to 4 points quickly. He also couldn't just place Irelia from the champion zone, because he was too scared of Kull and couldn't protect it. So we ended up playing a bunch of equipments, and since, I mean, rightfully so, I had Kull in hand as well. I decided to salvage the Guardian Angel, so, you know, he couldn't just, like, feel safe. It doesn't defy it, so I'm like, possibly it doesn't have a defy in hand. So I destroy the GA, get a draw, get a bunch of points. Next turn he plays his Irelia, because I kinda has to do something at some point. And I just drop the Kull, just to see if he has a defy or not. It doesn't have the defy, and I win the game on the spot, basically. Game 2, he plays Obelisk, and he starts with Sneaky Deckhand again. Well, that's pretty difficult to deal with. I don't really have the answer either. So he just goes ahead so far, and once he really is ahead, it's impossible to come back, so I just lose the game. Also, my hand was pretty bad in this case. I had a lot of spells, and I guess Irelia is not the best. And because of the deflect and not so fast and hard bargain, all of those cards. Game 3, I get to go first again. I basically, I think, drop a token again. And I get Sneaky Deckhand for the third game. Woo! Luckily for me, I have the right answer once again. I just do token, Zin, and basically kind of put myself in the same spot that I was in game 1. I get to 4, I kill a unit that he has a battlefield. I think he must have played a Sneaky Deckhand on an open battlefield. I don't remember exactly, I know he had another unit that I could just trade into. And then I played Kull twice to kill his Irelia. So I Kull, he defies, and I play another Kull, and I kill it. So thanks to that, I get ahead with the points, and I get in a spot where I'm at like 7 points or something like that. And he plays Draven, and this is where he got a bit scary because he could come back. He started getting a lot of points with Draven. I mean, a lot of points. He got like 1 point with Draven, accelerating me into a battlefield. And then I Hidden Blade because I did hide a Hidden Blade on the other BF because of Draven, so I could use reaction, kill my thing, and not give him a point. Luckily for me, the comeback was short-lived. I get Imperial Decree. I just play Imperial Decree. I think Draven had a GA, so just gets recall into base, and I can do double conquer to win the game. So I win that match 2-1. Round 4 against Sett. Not a leader that I played a lot against, so I was happy to see a different face. I'll say that I think Sett is a good matchup, mainly because they don't have anti-spell, like it's not like Fiora with their riposte, and Unyielding Spirit is a sideboard card, so they can't really deal with our spell in game 1, and that feels really nice to know that they're gonna be hitting. And on top of that, I also win the dice roll, which is pretty good. I get to drop an Honest Broker, do the Conquest. Since Sett is such a slow deck, he doesn't have I don't think he had a Monkey or a Pit Rookie, So he kinda just play this thing. I get the whole point, get to 2, and I can just keep pressuring like that. Actually, it does drop a Lucian, and this is where he does a big mistake, because I keep mana open to play Wedges of Pain since he has Lucian. And I'm like, I'll try. If he has an equipment, then like, that's fine. I'll probably just play the Wedges of Pain for the economy or something like that. But actually, just move this Lucian to the battlefield, I just Wedges of Pain, and he has nothing to protect it. So I kind of just win the game on the spot, which was a bit weird. Game 2, the game is also pretty one-sided. I mean, Sett is such a slow deck, he plays like 1 unit a turn. He was also playing a bit like the Frodan version of Sett, where he had Yone, which combos really well with Showstopper. But it wasn't very great against me, because I usually sit on battlefields with a bunch of tokens, so there's not really any open battlefield. Also, it's the game where I have 3 decrees, so even though he keeps playing with Sabotage, like, I just have infinite answers, and he can't really do anything about the 3 decrees. So once again, I get to 4 points really fast. I know that to get my 6 points, I play a decree, and I try to Bellows Breath his base. He plays Unyielding Spirit to counter it, and I can just like trade a bunch of tokens to get the 5th and the 6 points. And then I have so much decrease that for the next turn, for the conquest, I just focus on building a base, and then next turn I just decree again and win. So win 2-0 against Sett. So at this point in the tournament, I'm 3-1, and with my opponent, we just decide to, I don't know, so we bowl, we just ID and see what happens. Because we had like 6 people competing for 4 spots in the top 8, and it was my first skirmish ever, so I was just happy with top 8, So I just said, sure, let's ID and see what's going on. We ended up playing the game, and I lost the dice roll, and that's bad. Game 1, he plays sneaky again. I can't answer it, gets ahead. But actually here, I could have come back. I think like, I play Watcher, tried kill his Irelia, so she gets recalled to base because of the GA. And then I tried to stupefy, and if I found Bellows Breath, I could maybe have won that game by removing his unit, because he had no 0 units in hand, but hey. I whiffed. Happens. Game 2, no sneaky deck end. Also get to choose first. So I get to do the double point thing. My first turn I can double conquest. And it's also a game where I did Vengeance his Irelia, which actually kind of, I don't think it won me the game because I was already so far ahead, so I don't really know what to think about Vengeance. This was the only time the card was actually good in the tournament. Get 3, Sneaky Deckend is back. And I get Sneaky, I don't have Xin Zhao, and I kind of lose from here. Also, my hand is bad. I have 3 salvage in hand, and he does not see a single equipment the entire game. Fair enough, I had to salvage my own gold to draw a card and hopefully find answers, but couldn't do it. So, despite losing 1-2 since we ID'd, we just get the tie. End of Swiss, I am 3-1-1, so that's 10 points. And luckily, I get 8 seed. I think that's one of the good systems in Riftdecks is that, like, you don't necessarily want to ID because you get a better seeding, and you end up choosing if you want to go first or second. And this is a big deal in Riftdecks. So since I get 8, I will face the first seed, and the first seed will choose if he wants to go first or second. My top 8 match is a Viktor mirror. So naturally he chooses first, which is obviously the right thing to do. He has a pretty good start game 1. I think he just plays broker, and then on the next turn he has my faithful manufacturer with a token. And I don't really have a good start. I think I don't have enough units. So I try to make up for my bad start and his very good start by playing aggressive. Like, I know, trying to cheat early hold points. So I aggressively Bellows Breath his base to reset him. Hopefully, like, some unit sticks and I can get some points. But he ended up being pretty bad. Like, I DRAM too much because of those aggressive plays. I couldn't create any gold. And I ended up running out of power. And I got card advantage as well, so I just lose. Game 2, I get to choose first. Let's go. And my opponent kind of tries to do what I did game 1. And well, it was still bad. And I end up winning. He DRAM too much and yeah. So for game 3, knowing that my first idea was bad, I tried to do something else. And on top of that, I had a pretty decent start, I think we had an even matching start. Also, I did side in Glass Mixologist for last matchup, and it ended up being really good. I just dropped him on the battlefield and I was like, just try to get over it, so I could repay a faithful manufacturer in my base and everything. Basically, the spot that I try to put myself in is be able to do double conquest and remove his base with a Bellows Breath. I think I did that twice. Send 2 tokens, or like a small unit and a token, to the double conquest, then Bellows Breath his base. So now his Bellows Breath is less effective because he can't target my base and both battlefields, and he can't really go over any. So he always has a choice to do. I think he just, removes some units to the battlefield. And I ended up doing that move again with Watcher this time, which was even better because I can just drop Watcher in my base, unaccelerated, go over his small battlefield units with my own board, and I can just Bellow's Breath his base and destroy everything. And the good thing with Watcher sitting in the base that he can't really remove him. Curl is a terrible card in the matchup, so you just slide it out. So he ended up playing Vengeance on my Watcher. But it was, a bit of a desperate plays. I think I got on 7 with that play, and he denies the hold and stacks everything on the battlefield. But I just play another Watcher and go over it and win the game. So win 2-1. I felt pretty good winning that series. And we move on to the semi. So the top 4 match was against my first Draven. I think actually at the skirmish there was like one Miracle Draven, which is the person I'll face. And there was one win range, so not that many Dravens. Since he's a higher seed than me, he gets to choose first, which is fair. Also, important to note that he plays the Death Note version, so basically by turn 3 or 4, he has seen his entire deck. Luckily for me, I had God Hands. It was incredible. Game 1 and Game 2 are very similar, so I get to play a Broker and a Recruit, because he chose to go first. I think he passes his first turn, so then on his second turn he plays the Draven, and I just answer with Cull. Something that's pretty important here is that with Cull, I actually kill the token that I created in my base and not on the battlefield. So this means that next turn I can get to 4 and retreat both of my units and limit Draven, like combats for Draven. So I get to 4, I get to 6 quickly. I think he plays like a bunch of units in his base, and that's pretty much it. And then to grab the last 2 points, I just hit him with the combo with Decree and Bellow's Breath. And it wins me the game 1. And game 2, extremely similar stuff. Same thing, Broker plus Recruit. Then he plays his Draven. Once again I had Curl in hand, which is amazing. I just Curl. I get to 4. And this time he tries to play a bit more proactive. So I think he plays a bunch of Ram. Maybe he played a Bushwhack to push them into a battlefield. I play a Singularity to remove some of his board, so I kill the 2 Rams. I managed to cheat a point and get a 5th point. And then to get my 6th point, because I think he pushes with double Ezreal to deny, to take the battlefields back, I stupefy his Ezreal, and I try to Bellow's Breath repeat it to kill it. And he plays Hard Bargain with Repeat, that I pay, and then he plays his second Hard Bargain to deny the Bellow's Breath. I think it was a mistake. So since Ezreal is at 2, and my Bellow's Breath has been countered by Hard Bargain, I just push with a Pickpocket. I foff my Pickpocket, which I think was a mistake as well. I think I kind of baited him in foffing my Pickpocket. He should have probably foff his Ezreal, because he was not denying the 6 point from me anyway. Because then I can just push Broker, we both trade, and then I push a Recruit, and I get the 6 point. And then to get to 8, I just play the combo, and just clear his board. And I get to 6. I get to 8. So win against Draven Miracle 2-0. And as I kind of teased it, the final couldn't be played, which was unfortunate because it was Teemo. I think it was another good matchup. But the store had to close. Damn, I misspelled close. Okay, ignore that. But the store had to close. Unfortunate. We'll never know what happened. We end up splitting. And yeah, that was my run. So for my first skirmish ever, pleasantly surprised. I think overall I played pretty good. In hindsight, I think against Master I did a couple mistakes that I'll definitely learn from. I think I played the Viktor mirror pretty well. Against Miracle Draven, I don't know, like I had everything. So, felt nice. So overall impressions about the deck. The 3 decrees felt really nice. It was nice to always have a decree because it's such an important card in so many matchups. Against Irelia, you want decree. Against Draven, you want a decree. In fact, you want decree in most matchups. And since I don't draw a lot, I'm happy to see it at least once, so I have the combo. Vengeance was okay. Like, I think I played the card twice. It was on an Irelia, which won me the game. And it was in the Viktor mirror game 1, where I killed the Viktor champion unit with it. So I don't know about the card. Since it also gets not so fast, it's like a super specific case, so I could see myself cutting it. I think it's one of those cards that feels so good when you have it on curve, and you just, I got you. I kill your Irelia for free, and win the game. And when you don't, then it's just a bad card. I'll say that there is some merit as well to it, mainly against mid-range Draven, where, I don't know, if he has a Darius with Spinning Axe, like, it's so hard to go over for Viktor as well, so you can just Vengeance and just get rid of it to get your point. I could see a bit more card draw obviously in the deck, that's why I have the Yordles. And they felt good. I'll definitely keep the Yordles. The question is like, do I want to cut the Vengeance for a Cancel the Past, for a bit more card draw, or a third Yordle? Like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if a one-off Cancel the Past changes a lot. So yeah, my mind is not really set on that. I think one of the changes that I'll do is I'll probably cut a singularity and go down to 2 and add a third Zin. Playing Zin made me realize like how good he is against Irelia, especially against sneaky Decken. He puts you so far ahead when you can just answer his sneaky Decken with Zin. So I think I'll put a third one, yeah. And the sideboard, honestly, like, it was pretty good. I don't think it's super hard to use either. But if you want a sideboard video, I could definitely make one for, I don't know, different matchups, if some of you are interested. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That was my skirmish run. So don't hesitate to try the list for yourself. Tell me the changes that you might have done and what does your skirmish look like, you know, like how you did. And yeah, thank you for listening until the end, and we'll see you in a future video, hopefully. Bye bye.